Hello again guys, Damien Jones here again for you today. And today I thought we'd take a look at these little chaps for a change, something a little bit different. I went and promised that I'd be doing some Star Wars videos along the vintage line, and this is my first of those of this year. I won't be appearing on camera today as I don't feel very well and I absolutely look like shit. But anyway, here we are. Today we've got three rather lovely examples of vintage Star Wars figure, or should I say three variations of the same figure. This of course is Yoda. You have the power, you do. And well basically I've got two of the regular versions here. I have here, which I'm now touching. I really zoomed in on this as well, so I'm having a job trying to not touch these without them falling over. Over here, with the orange snake and orange eyes. I'll see if I can pick that up a little bit better on camera for you. You'll notice that this Yoda, will it focus? No, it won't. This Yoda has orange eyes, an orange snake, and very, very pale, you know, it's been cast in very, very pale plastic, very, very pale green. That, I believe, is made by Kenner, and was common from 1980 onwards on the American market. The second version of Yoda, again, is different, and it has different eyes. It has almost like Pac-Man slit eyes, you know, rather than just red dots like the other one. I know that's not picking up too well on camera, but that's basically the Palatoy version from here in Britain. That's the one that I had as a little boy, or the version I had as a little boy. And over here, this is the rarest of them all, and it's not even complete. In fact, it's a totally nude figure really. It's missing its cape. He's missing his cape, his belts, his snake, and his staff, and this is cast in really, really dark green plastic, and the paint job on the arms, I should say the hands and the feet, is quite sketchy compared to the other two. And that's because this one's made by a company in Mexico called Ledi, I think it's Laddie or something like that. That's a really quite a rare figure. We'll talk about prices of what these things can fetch in a minute. Just take a look at them though. I mean, I'll just see if I can get a few more of the details on camera for you. Obviously the first differences between them are, you know, the colour of the snake basically. But also you'll notice that Palatoy and Kenner also have used slightly different shaded plastics. The Palatoy staff is darker than generally it's a darker figure all over than the Yoda figure by Kenner. It's sort of like a medium dark green variation, isn't it, of the Kenner one, which is very, very light. And obviously the eyes are different colours. You know, this one's orange and matches the snake. This one's got sort of like black eyes, but they're painted more like a Pac-Man shape type slit. And obviously has a brown snake. Some people seem to think there's a variation which is a green snake. I've seen this before with the Chewbacca figures. They keep saying that there's a colour variance, and the Chewbacca appears to have sort of like a greenish legs and arms. It's not the case. Also that is as far as I'm aware anyway, also that is that the plastic, the brown snake plastic, has started to discolour a little bit, and it gives off a bit of a greenish colour tinge with age. I mean, you've got to remember, these things are 30, they're actually pushing, 37 years of age, aren't they, since these things were released. So yeah, you're going to get plastics sort of fading, sort of discolouring with time. It's perfectly natural. And that's also, I think, the green snake variation of Yoda actually is. I don't think it was a deliberate colour variation, you've got the orange snake here for the American one by Kenner, you've got the brown snake here by the Palatoy one for Britain. I believe that the Lady Lady one for Mexico, I believe that had a brown snake as well. And I also believe there were a lot of bootlegs, which are incredibly rare now, which came from Poland. And also there were bootleg versions in Mexico itself. Now, if you can get hold of them, they're very, very rare. But if you're looking for the official figures or the official variations of this particular figure, then I don't think you can get much rarer than this one here. From Mexico. Well, there they are. As I say, I mean, getting into, collecting variations of the same figure, some people might think, God, that's sad, isn't it? But it really isn't. You know what I mean? When you get, say, like, I got into it because, I started buying up job lots of these things, restoring them, recarding them, and selling them on to collectors. That's how I got into this collecting variations of the same figure, because obviously I'd get bulk loads of the same figure, usually Stormtroopers or Boba Fett or something like that, and I'd noticed these little differences with the figures themselves, I mean, when I grew up with these figures as a kid, because these and Action Man, they were like the biggest toy lines when I was a kid. And, I didn't take much, you don't, do you? Originally, nobody would take any notice of variations. I never knew until I was an adult that there was ever an orange snake version of Yoda with orange eyes. I never knew. Because, as I say, growing up here in Britain, the only version available to me was this one by Palatoy, and this is the only version I ever knew. I just assumed in America and everywhere else the figures would be released the same, but obviously they're not. So, my God, as I say, I mean, even looking at this figure here, even looking at it is taking a trip down memory lane for me. This isn't the original one that I had as a child. I believe, though, somewhere in my mother's house, I still have my original Yoda that I had as a kid. It's probably more in this sort of condition with nothing left of its articulated parts or anything. It's probably just going to be like this, and if I remember correctly, the ears are slightly chewed, so it's a no collectible value, but I do remember this figure as a kid. I actually remember my mother taking me out and buying it me. I remember picking it up. I remember looking at it in the packet on the way home and, hardly being able to wait to open it until I got there. I don't know. What are your memories of these as a kid? I mean, what country were you brought up in? Were you here in Britain? Did you have the Palatoy version like me, or are you from America? Did you have the Kenner version of Yoda? Or, were you in Mexico or anywhere else, or Are there any other variations, you know, other than the bootlegs out there which I don't have here? If there are, you know, let me know in the comments below. And well, I think that's about it really. Surely it's such a short one today, guys. And why I'm not on camera is I really do feel like hell today. So I just thought I'd get on with things and just start doing some of these Star Wars videos with you. Anyway, I'm rambling. For now though, my name's Damien Jones. If you haven't already, please subscribe for more. I'll be doing a lot more vintage Star Wars figures for you in the future this year. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.